8 criteria of women who have distorted feminine energy and how they affect men. Let's get into it. Now, usually, before I get into the 8 criteria, I would like to explain 3 types of women who usually have distorted feminine energy. The first one usually are the ones who are very aggressive, dominating. They're more masculine. Some of them are man haters. Meanwhile, the second type are the ones who have patriarchal mindset, who think that women are inferior than men, who allow the men in their life to treat them like a doormat. And meanwhile, the third type are the mixture of both categories. Okay, usually these women, they have unresolved past trauma with their father or father figures in their life. They have father issues. Similar to men who have distorted masculine energy, who have unresolved past trauma with their mother, who have mother issues. Okay, so women in these categories, they have father issues. Now, let's get into the first category. Number 1, they emasculate and disrespect men. These women, they undermine the men in their lives. They undermine their masculinity of the men in their lives. They belittle, demean, and undermine their man's masculinity. Okay, they disrespect them. They disrespect their abilities. They question their competency. They ridicule their emotions. And they reduce their worth to stereotypical gender roles. Okay, so when men disobey this woman, this woman usually will come up with words like, "Are you a man? Do you have balls?" They will try to emasculate their men as much as they can. That's how they impose this sense of unworthiness or negative belief system onto their man, so that their man will always feel ashamed of themselves. Number 2, manipulative and entitled. Some of these women, they feel entitled to princess or queen treatment without earning it or contributing anything to the relationship other than sex. Okay, sometimes they don't even offer sex. Okay, and these women are extremely manipulative and cunning. They play mind games with their men. They manipulate them and gaslight their men in order to maintain control over them. Many of them might not be loud and aggressive. They might appear to be very kind and soft, but they're extremely cunning and manipulative. They can be very passive aggressive. They have lots of resentments. Okay, lots of resentments. They are passive aggressive, constantly moody, constantly sulky, and sometimes very sarcastic. This woman love to play victim card all the time. Let's say if they make a mistake. So if their man confronts them about their mistake, they will immediately shift the blame onto them and start crying and start playing the victim card to manipulate the man. These women are more dangerous than the loud and arrogant ones. Be careful. Number 3, gold diggers. Some of these women are typical gold diggers. Now I know that independent women hate this word. However, gold diggers do exist and I've seen them many times personally. These gold diggers, they are not only lazy to earn their own money, but also feel entitled to luxurious life without earning for it or without contributing anything to the relationship, including giving love or care or nurture to the partner. Some of them initially might pretend to be loving and caring, but in the long run, they might stop giving you love and care too. Okay, and most of these women are crazy over luxurious products, luxurious brand products. Okay, if they get married to a man from middle class, yes, sometimes they settle for less. Okay, let's say they marry a man from middle class, a middle class man. They torture them financially. They torture them financially. Why don't you earn more? Why don't you buy for me this? Why don't you buy for me that? And they won't even bother to support their husband financially, or to help them financially. Okay, so usually they will root for a rich man, usually, but sometimes some of them, they will settle for a man who's not rich, but eventually will end up using all their money. Okay, they use men like an ATM machine, and they spend their money recklessly. This type of women, they usually marry men for financial support, for money, and then they secretly have extramarital affair with some other man for emotional satisfaction or sexual satisfaction. Most of these women are very dishonest and unfaithful in relationship. So especially if you're rich, and if you just couple up with a woman, or if you marry a woman just to have a trophy wife, be careful and get prepared to be cheated by them. Number 4, they treat men as puppet or slaves. They treat men as puppet or slaves. Women in this category are usually very bossy, very dominant. And these women are not confident. They are not confident women. Instead, they are very arrogant and have low self-esteem. Okay? They treat their men like a slave or a puppet. They treat them like a doormat. They manipulate their partners or their spouses, their husbands, by controlling their finances, bank accounts, social media accounts, careers, and decisions. They control everything like a tyrant. And they expect their husband or their male partners to say yes to everything. Their male partner or their husband cannot disagree to them. They cannot disagree with them. They must tell yes to everything. They disrespect their husbands or male partners. They respect their pets or their mates more than their husbands. Okay, so some of you might say, oh, they are controlling their credit card because the husband might be spending recklessly. Okay, but why do they want to control everything else? The social media account, career, decisions, everything. Okay, I've seen a woman who control the man's credit card, money, everything. Like, he cannot spend a single cent without her permission. And he's not a reckless spender. Okay, he usually spends his money wisely. Okay, and he can't even help his parents with that money. She doesn't allow him to spend money for his parents. And he can't even use his own car without her permission. Extremely dominating and controlling. Living with this woman is torturous. Number 5, patriarchal mindset. Women in this category usually belongs to the second type, the second category. They truly believe that women are only meant to be a homemaker and a caregiver. They really believe that women are not meant to go to work. Okay? And these women, they are extremely jealous of successful independent women. They criticize those independent women, blaming them for any disharmony in their family. If there's any fight or argument in the family, they'll immediately say, oh, that's because she's going to work and being independent, and that's the reason she's fighting with her husband. Without even knowing the cause of the fight or cause of the arguments. Okay? And these are the women who allow their men to treat them like a doormat. They say yes to everything. They say yes to everything their man requests without question. And they expect other women to do the same. Usually many mother-in-laws belong to this category. This type of mother-in-laws control their daughter-in-laws using the patriarchal rules. They strongly believe that women are born to serve men. Number 6, difficulties in receiving love or help. Women in this category, they are very independent. They have difficulties in receiving help or love from men. They are very masculine. Okay, we can be independent and interdependent. However, these women, they are independent, but they are not interdependent. In a relationship, we need to be interdependent. Am I right? These women are hyper independent. Hyper independence is a trauma response where they have difficulties in receiving help from others. They refuse to ask for help from others because they believe that nobody cares about them. So they fail to make a genuine effort to make connection with others, especially with men, because they believe that eventually they will be abandoned by others, especially by men. Number 7, lack of empathy and are extremely masculine. Women in this category, they are too aggressive, too masculine, and the lack of empathy. And they lack of feminine qualities. Most of them are unhealthy competitors. They compete with their spouse all the time. They are very jealous of their spouse's achievements and success. Okay, they want to have upper hand in everything. They do not handle anything in feminine way. And these women, their lack of empathy, lack of compassion, lack of empathy, lack of nurturing, and lack of care. They're very cold, and many of them are very cold and bitter. And some of them, they enjoy arguments, even over trivial matters. They are very combative. They're very combative, and they enjoy arguing over trivial matters. Okay, and this is a very unattractive quality for a man with healthy masculine energy. And the last one, number 8, pseudo-feminists and man-haters. Who are these pseudo-feminists? Pseudo-feminists are genuine feminist number 1 enemy. Okay, they are the enemy. They are not only the men's enemy, but they are also genuine women's enemies. Pseudo-feminists, they misuse the feminist concept. They twist and turn the feminist concept according to their own convenience. They misuse that concept, and they also misuse the law for women to place false accusations against men. They abuse and suppress men and have double standards. They ask for gender equality, but at the same time, they ask for unreasonable privileges and special treatments. They bash all men. They always suggest that women deserve more respect, or people of other sexes deserve lesser respect. Okay, they have these double standards, and they assume all men are bad. They portray all men as are bad and all women are good. They are typical man haters. and they are not genuine feminist. These are the 8 criteria. Now I want you to know something. Women who have distorted feminine energy will not be able to attract men with healthy masculine energy, because men with healthy masculine energy will not feel attracted to these women. They won't feel attracted to these women. Okay, even if this woman managed to attract men with healthy masculine energy through some manipulation techniques or tricks, they eventually will sabotage that relationship and end up pushing them away. So these women, they need to heal their unresolved past trauma related to their father or father figures, and they have to embrace the feminine energy within them. Okay, some women who have distorted feminine energy were blaming the men. They told me that they are having a distorted feminine energy because of the men. I want to tell you something. The toxic men, okay, they have distorted masculine energy because of the unresolved past trauma with their mother. Their mother issues, they have mother issues. So can they continuously behave immaturely and put the blame on the woman all the time? Can they continuously misbehave towards women and by blaming the woman in their life? No, am I right? So let's take accountability to do our inner work and heal our past trauma and break this karmic pattern. Otherwise, this woman, it's either they're never going to be able to attract any man with healthy masculine energy, or they will only settle for less with men who have distorted masculine energy and always end up being not satisfied with the man in their life. Okay, so let me know what you think about these issues. Thank you.